Yo, 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 what's good, everyone? It's your boy GD, the sports actor, and we are back. So, week one has ended. A lot of exciting games in week one. These rivalry matchups were perfect to start off the week. I mean, all over the place, you had comeback wins against rival teams, really just putting out their hearts and guts and just showing forth everything that they had worked on, showing new additions to the team that seemed to be blending in well. And working out for some of these teams. So super exciting in the NFL to be able to, witness good football once again. But speaking of which, we're going to break down and get into a little bit of how the New York Giants did not live up to the performance that we all expected, to be honest. And when I say expected, I believe most of us expected a win out of the New York Giants this past Sunday, or at least something that would have been competitive or looked at as a bright spot. Really wasn't too many bright spots in this game. I mean, if we're looking at this game and the final score being 21-6, it really does give it feels familiar. Really makes you feel familiar, because the problem with the New York Giants last season is that they couldn't score points. They couldn't put 6 points, 7 points up on the board. I mean, these 6 points came from Graham Gano. Thankfully, his leg is looking good and he's kicking field goals. And the field goals is what gave us 6 points. If you can't put touchdowns, if you can't get that ball into the end zone, you're not going to win a game. You're not winning games, and this is the issue that we had last year. Now, Brian Daboll is going to go up on the stand, and he's going to give his demeanor, his public answer, which is no answer at all. And I'm starting to get sick and tired of it. I mean, you have to give something at this point. You have to speak up and ask and ask yourself, what adjustments are you making? What is going on to where you have all the pieces there, and on Sunday it's just not clicking? How do you go from putting up 30 pieces, 40 pieces in preseason? And yes, it was against the second team, but still, they're NFL players. You went out there, you balled out, you look good, and then when it comes down to putting a final product on Sunday on the field, you just look lost. Doesn't look like any improvements were made. It actually looked like we were just the same old team of last year. And that really is disheartening to a fan base. I mean, you can't continue to ask us not to be, it's week one, and I understand that. And I don't want to get too heavy into it. I don't want to, write the season off already. But you can't expect any type of, boost from the fan base if you're not putting a winning product on the field, and for years not putting a winning product on the field. I mean, if we're really going to address why this game was so rough and so bad, it wasn't because of the defense, because the defense continues to excel and do their job. For a few pieces on that defense, which I do question, specifically Bobby Okereke, I just don't see the aggression coming from him. And the guard spot right next to Dexter Lawrence, we need to figure that out, because Nacho ain't doing it. I'm going to tell you that right now. And I don't understand why Shane Bowen does not have the ability to see right in front of him the jewels, the gems, the formations, the guys that he can put together at one time. Take Nacho out of the game and put in Abdul Carter. Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau. Put them on the line. Dexter Lawrence is getting double teamed every single time. There's only so much that man can do. Every time he's getting double teamed. So put the other guys in. Abdul Carter is great at tracking the ball. He's great if Dexter Lawrence is getting double teamed. That leaves an opportunity for Abdul Carter to fly through those gaps. What are we doing? Nacho's getting swallowed up. And then we have Robertson. He's okay, but come on. Come on. Let's do something new. Figure it out mid-game. Stop trying to beat a dead horse and do the same thing for 4 quarters. We didn't even try to change a single thing. Paulson Adebo looked great. Cordell Flott was getting cooked. And I believe he will continue to get cooked. If this is going to be a position battle of CB2, at what point are you going to put Deonte Banks in? At the end of the season when it's over? It's a battle. So right now, I believe that the New York Giants should have had Deonte Banks go in a little bit more, 50-50, and stop with this rep count. I heard Brian Dable talking about, Abdul Carter had about 43 reps overall, and Burns had 48. Stop with the rep count. Put the best player in the game that can play to win you the game. I don't care how many reps that you want to put them on. No, you need to win these games. You're not waiting for later in the season. You need a strong start now. And I believe that's where the New York Giants are missing the ball, especially when it comes to the coaching. I mean, they're just not trying anything else. Just beating a dead horse. After Micah McFadden went down, who I think is an exceptional player, and the Giants should re-sign him because he's just so quick to the tackle. He's great in the middle of the field. He's great on one-on-one blocks. He's great in coverage. It was unfortunate that he went down at the time that he did, because the minute that he went down, we put in Muasau, who, I like Muasau. Muasau came from UCLA. He's not, a bad individual. I was able to actually meet his dad at a Seattle Giants game. I was going to Seattle, and his dad was on the plane. Very cool family, but as far as, he's still coming off of his second year. He was a rookie last year, and Michael McFadden goes down, and immediately Jaden Daniels attacks that side. He attacks Muasau with Zach Ertz touchdown to get them started. Like, come on. The minute Michael McFadden went out on that stretcher, rolled on out of there, they put Muasau in, and boom, touchdown. And pretty much the whole game, Jaden Daniels rolling to the right, hitting the middle of the field. Rolling to the right, hitting the middle of the field. Rolling to the right, running up the middle of the field. Rolling to the right, running up to the middle. Like, what don't you understand? For four quarters, 15 minutes apiece. My girlfriend in my ear talking about how long is football? How long is this game? Yes, football's long. So for 4 quarters, you're telling me that you didn't think to, send a blitz to the right side where the guy continues to roll out to and push him left? Try something different? Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, where you don't put any of the blame really on the players here. It's the coaches that I have a problem with. The coaches and the offensive line. I'm pretty sure I'm done talking about the defense. As I said before, Drew Phillips, highlight. What a dog. Abdul Carter, you did great. I wish I could see you play even more, get some dirt on that jersey. I don't know why we're still continuing to bubble wrap. We need to play our guys that we drafted. So Abdul Carter, you did great. I hope to see you, out there more. And also with that containing, I know you went in almost like you were playing basketball coverage, hands up high, and it was an intentional grounding. I believe that should have been called, or may have been called by Jaden Daniels. But you got to go in there with a little more veracity and just make the tackle. Just blow it up and make the tackle in the backfield. I believe you can do it, but just wanted to put that side note out there. Drew Phillips, Abdul Carter, Brian Burns with 2 sacks himself did amazingly. And I just want to see a little bit more veracity, a little bit more ferociousness and violence coming from the defensive line, particularly Kayvon Thibodeau. I really would like to see that. Now let's move on to the offensive line. Hot garbage. The offensive line for the New York Giants has been hot garbage for a minute, and it was hot garbage against the Commanders. I just do not understand. That whole line is going to have to be blown up and send the guys elsewhere. I mean, I know we just got John Runyon. Hopefully he can, do something and prove why we brought him over here from the Packers, because I'm not seeing it. Jermaine Illuminor, I like Jermaine Illuminor. He's serviceable. He works hard. I believe, there wasn't many pressures coming from his side. It was more coming from the left side. James Hudson the third, who we gave, 2 years, $12.5 million or something like that. Golly, that man is trash. The left side was just getting blown up with those two over there, and it didn't help that you have JMS in the middle who can't block, who couldn't block a turtle. The guy's just getting moved like a chess piece. Any single time somebody wants to move you, they can move you. Oh my gosh. JMS needs to stop being the center for the New York Giants, and that needs to happen today. I don't care how smart the guy is. Your brains ain't going to do nothing when it comes to power. You work across Dexter Lawrence almost every day. You can have the opportunity to go up against one of the best nose tackles, one of the best defensive linemen out there. And I've seen no improvement. Dexter Lawrence would toss you too. We need someone who could go up against Dex. I don't know why we haven't figured that out yet. We have one of the best defenses, I believe, out there, and we're not using them to sharpen our offense. Stop with the pitter patter. We saw in the preseason just how many times the defense got into the backfield. I mean, Russell Wilson was wearing that red jersey, so you can't touch him. But we saw how many times they got back there and how fast they got back there. The O-line is garbage. Listen, look at these stats. We have Russell Wilson 17 for 37. 168 yards. That's it. No TDs, no interceptions. Russell Wilson was very smart with the ball. I will say that. Threw the ball away when he needed to. Didn't take any major risks. But 168 yards, that's not going to cut it. Rushing, he had 44 yards, 8 carries. He was too busy running, trying to run for his life. And that was another thing. Every single time he tried to drop back, it was almost as if it was a run-first mentality. We need to pass the ball. We're not looking for a quarterback to run. We're looking for a quarterback that can distribute the ball to the playmakers. And that was an issue. And part of it was because you have no time to even scan the field. You're getting hit so much so early that by the time halftime and third quarter rolls around, you're just immediately thinking flight. No fight, just flight. So we definitely need to look at that. Tyrone Tracy, 10 carries for 24 yards, averaging 2.4 yards a carry. What? The same Tyrone Tracy that last year was winning awards because of how well and surprisingly he was able to run. The same Tyrone Tracy that was a receiver before he was a running back, and we didn't see him in the receiving game except maybe 2 plays drawn up to utilize that skill set. Kafka, what are you doing? You moved from up in the stands in the box so you could come down on the field because you felt like you could immediately give adjustments, that you could see maybe a little bit better and feel that energy. Well, the energy sucked down on the grass. I know that energy sucked in my living room. I don't know what it was up in the box. Maybe you could tell me, but the energy was trash. Devin Singletary, 3 carries, 9 yards. Cam Scatterbo, 2 carries, -3 yards. They weren't able to do anything in the running game because the offensive line couldn't block. You didn't want to block on Sunday. It's frustrating. The O-line needs to hear it. It's frustrating. You're the reason that the New York Giants are failing so bad is because every single time a quarterback comes in, every single time somebody steps back in that backfield, they don't have time to get rid of the ball. They don't have time to do what they need to do. Do your job. And I don't understand why we're not nobody has a set position. I mean, Brian Daboll said that the best players will play. You know what? Let me finish going down these stats. Receiving yards. Malik Neighbors going to do what he does. 5 receiving and 71 yards. Left some on the table for sure. 14.2 is what he averaged per receive. But with Malik Neighbors even, I don't understand why we don't understand about how good of a player he is. So they're going to draw up double teaming him every time. Someone's going to be down below. At the bottom, the safety is going to be covering up top. We need to figure out creative ways to get Malik Neighbors the ball, whether that's slants, whether that's moving him in the slot, whether that's taking him and putting him at the running back position. I'm not sure what you need to figure out, but it needs to be figured out. Whether it needs to just be a straight go ball and he tries to draw a pass interference at this point. We know he's getting covered. You know it. So draw a play up to help him get open. Because we can't afford to lose another great player because of the coach's incompetency. Odell lost because the coaches can't get their head out of their ass. Saquon lost because the coaches and GM can't get their head out of their ass. Darren Waller, I could go on and on. Figure out what you need to do to make your superstar happy. Because we cannot afford to lose a talent like Malik Nabers. And while you're at it, go look for another wide receiver that can complement this man. There's someone out there. I mean, you have someone on the roster, Jalen Hyatt. Apparently, the New York Giants paid Jalen Hyatt last year enough money so he can do plenty of cardio. Enough millions so he can run around on the field and do nothing. Except run around and drop balls. And this season, they said they're going to switch it up. Oh, they switched it up. Now, he sits on the bench. He rides the bench. That's it. We're just paying Jalen Hyatt to ride the bench. Other teams wanted him too. In a trade, tried to offer to go pick up Jalen Hyatt. Giants said no. No, this is our guy. We're going to develop him. And see, that's the stubbornness. If you're going to keep something and you're going to say, no, this is ours, and then you're not going to use it, now that your ego is just in the way. Now it's just pride. Because I don't understand how Malik Nabers is getting frustrated. You don't even put in Jalen Hyatt. You have Jalen Hyatt comes in maybe once or twice, and you have Bo Collins come in. And Bo Collins, who you just picked up. Who just made the roster. And you have a guy, Jalen Hyatt, heading into his third year, who you don't even highlight. Or put him across from Malik, or use his speed to take the safety off of Malik Nabers. What are you doing? Oh my God. Okay. And then you have Wan'Dale Robinson, who did his thing, 6 receptions, 55 yards. Wan'Dale Robinson came to play. Wan'Dale Robinson looked ferocious. He, of course, it was a lot of dump offs, a lot of short 4 yards, and, he really showed fight. And I wanted a lot of players to take the energy that he was showing because he fought throughout the whole game. And I will say that. Theo Johnson. Oh my gosh. The butterfingers that are coming off of him. I'm going to give Theo Johnson a pass. Daniel Bellinger looked great. This is exactly why we shouldn't have let go of Greg Dulcich. And we should have kept him on the roster. And Greg, if you're seeing this, Dolphins ain't doing it for you. I'm going to let you know that right now. Dolphins ain't doing it for you. Come back home, my boy. Because we could definitely use a tight end with some hands. If the tight ends aren't ready, next man up. Because we don't have time. The Giants, as an organization, you don't have time. Right now, I believe you're third and most valuable organization. You don't want to lose that. Start making the necessary adjustments. And Darius Slayton, there was a pass interference that was not called on him. Face mask was grabbed. I don't know what the refs were looking at. Even when the replay was there, you could have went back and you could have adjusted the call. You could have made some changes. You didn't. Darius Slayton went 0, 0, 0, 0. 0 receptions, 0 yards, averaging 0 TDs. Okay. All right. Okay. And that's just where, I'm just having a little bit of trouble. Darius Slayton, you're a captain now. You can't walk out of a game with 0. Demand the ball. Demand the ball. The New York Giants at this point need to demand excellence. You need to figure this out. And I'm tired of hearing we got to all do better. Yes, we already know you got to do better. Tell us how you're going to do better, Ryan. How are you going to improve? Where are you going to help the players adjust so that they can be their best selves? Have a sit down with the coaching staff and get on the same page. Try different things. We don't need to continue beating a dead horse. And I felt like that's what we did the whole game against the Commanders. And partially because we were so close. 16-14 for most of the game until about the fourth quarter. The Commanders at that point get a garbage touchdown to make it 21-6, to look like they had a great win. But they really didn't. Washington isn't good. The New York Giants just failed themselves, and the offense and coaching is mainly what did it. So, like I said, it is week 1. I still believe in my boys. I'm always going to, defend them. But just because you believe in something and you love something so much doesn't mean that you can't go out there and give it some good criticism, some good, hard, adjustments and how they can better themselves. And that's all. I'm tough on them because I love them so much. And I really do want to see the improvements from the New York Giants. I don't want to see this another season by October. We're already writing it off and we're done. That was just horrible last year. Just knowing that your team is over and you're still fighting for weeks. So yeah, that was the post-game breakdown for the Washington Commanders against the New York Giants. And we're going to be getting into the New York Giants' next matchup Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard. New York Giants are going up against yet another another team. Excuse me. The New York Giants are going up against yet another team in the division, another rivalry game, in my opinion. The Dallas Cowboys. We're heading to Arlington, Texas to go face them, and we should be ready. We should be ready. I believe that the Giants will make the necessary adjustments. I believe that they're going to come and play harder than what we saw this past Sunday, and the Cowboys are a beatable team. But if we go 0-2, I do want to say, and I'll talk a little bit more about this, 0-2, go ahead and put Dart in. We don't need to wait till week 4, 5. If Russell Wilson goes 0-2 with this team and can't score any tutties, go ahead and put Jackson Dart in. Stop playing. The New York Giants need to learn how to make adjustments faster. Figure out how to have Abdul, Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau all on the line at the same time. Rotate the other guys in, but keep your main guys. Keep the main thing, as the players like to say. Okay? Stop worrying about the lingo, 6'7". Stop worrying about all that. Worry about the next opponent, the Dallas Cowboys, and how to attack and give pressure to Dak Prescott. Put Deonte Banks in because he's a big body to go up against George Pickens, because I believe that will be your best opportunity instead of having Cordell Flott in there. And I hope that Michael McFadden is back. If not, Darius Muasau is going to have to step up big time. And that means Bobby Okereke will also have to step up. But if you get the rush right, then it makes it a little bit easier for the rest of the guys. An offensive line. You should be walking in your stance throughout the whole city. You should be coming up out of your stance at random points throughout the whole week. You should just be blocking people just to block them. Because we need to see improvement. This cannot continue. All right, well, that's me. That's my rant on the New York Giants versus the Washington Commanders. I know I went pretty long on this one, but I had a lot to say for week 1, so we can continue to improve in the following weeks. But yeah, guys, you know where we're at. You know where we're going to be. Always going to be posting because we love the Giants and we love blue. So, yeah, that's about it. Continue to comment, subscribe, like, tell me how I can improve, and I really appreciate you guys watching. And as always, let's go blue! Peace.